See, there it is. The closer I get to looking at that screen, kind of funny. Hope I'm not scaring you out there. So last time I did this video, I had my paint already mixed and I showed you my little secret sponge under my palette. Well, guess what? When you don't put the cover on correctly, then you get this. Did I drop it in my new paint? Yes, I did. If you don't cover it correctly, you get this. You get hard, stiff plastic paint. So you get to see me mix it again. I'm going to show you about the ratio of paint to gel that I use. And I mix it with a palette knife. Make sure it's clean, unless it's the same color. And then even if I'm mixing two colors together, I will put the two colors on top of the gel and then start mixing. And you notice how I push the paint in. I know this is probably rudimentary things, but I don't know who's watching. Could be one of my little students. Okay, and so then that paint mixed with the gel. Let's see, I was working with the yellows here. So the next color here was going to be an orange. Should we just take the orange? And we pop a little pile on like that, going like that, pop a little pile of paint on, and then we mix them up. Another important thing is to spray the paint with the spray bottle before you cover it, and then make sure you don't do what I do. And when you put the cover on and it's got these little spikes in there, these pegs are gonna keep the top from touching the paint. And you put your cover on and you make sure it's sealed all the way around. That's what I failed to do last time. Make sure it was sealed all the way around. Make sure you hear that little click. You hear that? There you go. Hear that? Hear that? That little click tells you that it's sealed. I'll do it over here. Let's see. Yes. Okay, those little clicks tell you that the palette is sealed this time. There you go. Okay. So now I know when I come back, my paint will be wet, and this time it won't be like this. This is what you get when it dries. Like I said, all of this acrylic paint is plastics, so I'm very ambivalent about plastic. Also, you don't cover it and you spray it with water, it can get moldy too, depending on where you store your paint. It's kind of gross, but interesting to show you how the paint actually dries. It definitely has a different consistency than regular acrylics. While it has more polymer in it and it's more flexible, it feels, there's some rigidity to it, and I guess that's what holds the texture when you put it on. You can also see, if I bring it close, how that coating can go from very stiff, so it's like stiff and rigid, so it holds its texture, but it can also be translucent, which is something completely different than I've ever seen before. So back to this palette. Last time I made sure that it snapped shut, so everything in here should be completely wet. Hopefully there's no mold. And sure enough, there is my paint. And I was showing you how I was mixing it with a palette knife. Very easy. I'll go back to doing that. Even though I messed up, you just basically work the paint into the product like that, and there you go. So I'm going to finish mixing up the rest of the palette, and I promised this video more painting, less talking. I said that last video. More painting, less New York talking. So I'll see you when we're ready to paint. Okay, so the first thing I do when I come back to a painting is do an evaluation of where I am, and the best way to do that, I'm going to stand back and look at the painting. And now, first thing I'm noticing is that I still have a bit of a composition issue based on these turquoise lines. So while last video I was concentrating on the yellow, using the yellow with the glaze, and it did cause some interesting effects to the painting underneath. It doesn't entirely look finished. You can still see pencil marks, but you can also see when I painted the sun the first time, I wanted to make sure I maintain this, and then as I was going through my composition, I decided to paint over it for some reason. But I'm gonna put that back. I'm gonna do a lot of things to this painting. Okay, and then I see that I started something here. I don't know if it was successful. I think that's where I petered out last video. So I'm noticing that last time I was working light to dark, and now, like I mentioned in the end of last video, this one I think I'm going to be working dark to light instead. So since we're starting on a white canvas, and I like this turquoise, somehow I'm going to figure out how to get this turquoise past and up here. So that's where we're going, just so you know what the plan is. So being the anal retentive photographer that I am, I got new lighting, I put up a new camera, and as I'm looking at, I'm trying to make sure that you don't see those extra lights in my glasses. That's okay, because you're not here to see my glasses. I can't see anything without my glasses. I'm like Velma, I can't see anything without my Shaggy, Scooby. Where are my glasses? Yeah, so. I can't see anything without my glasses. I also can't paint without headphones, so I'm going to have them on while I'm painting, and I'll just do a random shout out every once in a while. And I'm like, oh, it's better. I'm not getting the light in my glasses now. Oh, how nice. Okay, I think we're ready to go. We talked about the composition. I'm going to keep the idea of the rule of thirds in my mind as well. At the bare minimum, the rule of thirds is the best composition to judge your work by. If you can get a successful composition within the rule of thirds, you're doing pretty good. Then we have more complex compositions. At the bare minimum, you should hit the rule of thirds. Also, be warned, I don't have my hearing aids in. So if I shout out very loudly, please excuse me. I also can't seem to tighten my easel correctly, and it keeps sliding. Arthritis, I don't have the best hand strength. No, it's coming. Oh God, I can't sing. I'm gonna get a copyright strike for singing as I'm ripping my paper towels. We don't want that to happen. Paper towels always in this hand, especially in case we have a little accident like we have right here. Before we go, that's why we keep the water very close. This stuff dries really super fast, guys. So every time you make a significant change in your painting, the best thing you can do for yourself is to step back and look before you keep going. Alright, that seems to work. We're going to keep going with it. Now I picked a slim brush because I wanted to keep my line relatively small. But then here's another important thing to learn about painting, and I'm trying to tell my young students this as well. Brush, how you handle the brush is very important. Brush pressure. Brush pressure. There we go. That's how you say it right. The pressure that you put on the brush is critical. It's critical to the texture there, you can see. If you press even with a skinny brush, and try not to block your view of it. If we have a skinny brush, we can either press lightly and keep the line thin and translucent, or we can press a little bit harder, and then the line, you could start building texture in the line. Another way to add texture to a painting is also to paint with a palette knife, particularly if you're just adding texture to a particular color like that. With this product, I would say to use a palette knife if you're interested in maintaining texture like I am. Once you get your basic painting down, it might not be a bad idea to pick up a palette knife, because when you put this product on the painting thicker, it becomes opaque, and when you put it on the painting lighter, it becomes translucent, which is like here. If I thin the paint down here, now it's going to take on a different look.